folks. Welcome to the very first episode, frankly, of the Donald J. Trump podcast, which, by the way, the ratings already through the roof. Okay, there's people watching all over the place. And, you've got the biggest people, the biggest podcasters, Joe Rogan. He's asking, I got his email right there, Joe Rogan at Gmail. Say, oh, can I please come on? I say, okay, maybe episode two. But we're doing tremendous things, and my people, everybody was like, why don't you start it? Why didn't you start it earlier? And it's like, look, because I'm out there looking for ballots, okay? People think I have people out there looking. I'm doing it myself. I'm on foot. I'm out there in the forest, picking up rocks and raking leaves, finding votes all over like you wouldn't believe. Okay, like you wouldn't believe. So we're here with podcast, and I did my research. I did my frankly research, and I saw Obama, President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. He has a podcast too with a guy who no one's heard of in 30 years, Bruce Springsteen. Hasn't had a hit since '82, and he chooses Bruce Springsteen to do a show with. And I watch this show, and I see it's so sanitized. They're on there, they're talking about, trees and water. They're like, oh, I like trees. The other guy's like, I like water. Water's good. I mean, it's like produced by Disney. Okay, they got Mickey in the corner saying, you can't say that. You could say this. Look, there's no Mickey here. Okay, it's just, I go from my big, beautiful brain. Okay, that I could tell. That's all I need. That's all I need is my brain and my strength and, frankly, my stamina. And then you got another hater of mine. You got Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin has a podcast now. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Killing people? I mean, the guy's a maniac, okay? Belongs in a cage, okay? And I love how people say, oh, Trump, he's going to go to jail. And I'm like, look, first off, I would never go to jail, okay? That I could tell you. But even if I did, look, I would run that jail, okay? I'd have so many bitches. I see the movies in prison. They have, the bitch. I'd have in the cafeteria, I'd be eating everyone's food, okay? It'd be tremendous. I'd have a great relationship with the guards, with the inmates. It'd be huge, okay? I'd create my own economy. Within days, I'd be running that jail, okay? That I could tell you. But anyways, I'm here at Mar-a-Lago, and I wake up every morning and I read, the good book, the Bible. Because, look, I'm a Christian person. I believe so strongly in the Jesus. I believe he died to make the world great again, and the art of the deal. And then I decided, what if I read the two books? The Bible and the Art of the Deal. What if I read them both at the same time? Okay, what if I did that? So I decided to record an audiobook called The Art of the Bible. And we've got the moral teachings of Jesus so strongly and the strength and stamina of Trump. And look, this thing is selling like huge, okay? It's selling so many copies. You can find The Art of the Bible on Trump.com for $39.39, 3 very easy payments, very easy, okay, believe me. So we're doing tremendous things, and the Bible, there's a story in there about this guy, Judas, and Judas betrayed Jesus, frankly, for 30 silver coins. And I say, because Judas kind of reminds me of a guy I know named Mike Pence. But you see, I could respect Judas. I can't respect Mike because at least Judas sold out Jesus. He was getting something in return. He was getting some coins. Mike Pence sold me out for nothing. So look, if I were to run again, which I just might, right? Because we need to take back the country. I would choose Judas over Mike as my VP because, look, at least Judas has brains, okay? At least Judas has a brain, okay? That I could tell you. So we're here. We're doing tremendous things. We just started Truth Social, and people are saying, oh, it's taking so long. It's taking so long. Look, well, I'm sorry I'm not a nerd. Okay, maybe if I was Zuckerberg, it'd be here in 5 seconds, but I wouldn't have a life. Okay, you got guys like Zuckerberg at college. They were doing what? They were studying, playing the violin. I never played the violin. Okay, I played sports. Okay. And, if I was him, maybe it'd be here in 3 seconds. But, in college, I had girlfriends. I was playing basketball, football, baseball. So when you have a life, things take a little time. But that's okay because all things that are worth it take time. Jesus took 3 days to come back, okay? And look, I'm coming back. I'm coming. It's starting right now, and I'm coming back so strongly. And the people know. The people know. Even those who voted for that sleepy guy, they're saying, "Oh boy, we need back Trump." That I could tell you. But I'm here at Mar-a-Lago, and we're doing tremendous things. In between finding ballots and hosting podcasts, I'm also a dad. I wake up Barron every morning and I give him I call it the loser talk. See, not enough parents give their kids the loser talk these days. I sit him down and I say, Barron, little tiny Barron. Say, Barron, don't be a loser. And he says, okay, Dad. But then the other day I go in his room and I find this thing. They call it vape. And I say, Barron, how did you get this vape? And he says, oh, Dad, they call it peer pressure. I was peer pressured. I say, oh, I wonder who, the kid who peer pressured you, I wonder who his parents voted for. Okay. And I say, Barron, we got to take you on a little trip because we got to teach you a lesson. We call it lesson. So I take Barron to the inner cities and I say, look out that window. We're in the motorcade and we're seeing the people on heroin, all types of junkies and all drugs there leaning around. They can't stand up straight. It's very sad. It's a disgrace. And I say, Barron, you see those people? It all started with vape. They picked up a vape, and then 3 days later, they're out here. They can't stand up straight. It's a disgrace. And he said, okay, Dad, I'm not going to vape anymore because that's how you do it. That's how you keep your kids out of rehab, okay? I have a lot of friends, very rich, powerful friends. And their kids end up in rehab because they're losers. And they don't give their kid the loser talk. That I could tell you. But Barron is a good kid. He's dating now. He's 15. He brings home this girl. And the mom, drops her off. And the car pulls up. And I see a bumper sticker on the back of the car. And it says, I'm with her. I say, I'm with her. I say, that sounds a lot like a slogan by one Crooked Hillary. And the mom comes to the door. The little girl walks in. I say, oh, hello, Barron. Kiss on the cheek. I say, Karen, name happens to be Karen, okay? I say, Karen, I couldn't help but notice that you have a sticker back there. And she goes, oh, yeah, I'm with her, yeah. And I say, oh, yeah, that was the slogan of one Crooked Hillary. Talk about a convict, Crooked Hillary with the emails. And she says, oh, well, sir, no disrespect, but I happen to vote for, Crooked Hillary. And I say, little girl, sweetheart, come here. She walks outside, and I slam the door. I slam the door because you need strength and you need stamina. Because if I let that girl stay within 3 weeks, Barron would be in Antifa. He'd have purple hair. He'd be joining the Communist Party. He'd be screaming about Bernie. I'd say, Barron, good morning, loser talk. And he'd be like, Lottie doll, 40 deals, top 1%. He'd be Bernie. He'd turn into Bernie. You gotta cut it out in the beginning, or else it's just gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse and worse. Like Ukraine, frankly. So, I say, Barron, you need to date a good girl, okay? You need to date a nice little girl. What about, does Ron DeSantis have a daughter? Does Ron, and I stick, folks, producers back there, can you Google that? Does Ron DeSantis have a daughter Barron's age? Because also, look, they're young. It's not going to last. We'll get research on Ron. Because, look, I like Ron. He's leading with stamina, and he's freedom, no masks. But look, if Ron decides to run against me, okay, I'm going to need Barron as a little spy. Okay, it's called 48 Laws of Power. Google it, okay? That I could tell you. So Barron is a good kid. When he was a little younger, I took him he wanted to go to Harry Potter Land. He says, Dad, can you bring me to Harry Potter Land? So we go to the park in Orlando, Florida, frankly. And first off, I don't do theme park, okay? I do deals. I do buildings. I own golf courses all over the place, fabulous estates. I don't do theme park, okay? That's for the normies. But I go to the park, and first off, the ride gets stuck. Okay, we're in Hogwarts. The thing's yanking us around, okay, like an animal. And the ride gets stuck. So I say, okay, now we're stuck. I could be out looking for ballots. Now I'm stuck. But we go out, and he says, "Oh, Dad, you got to try on this thing. They call it the sorting hat. The sorting hat. This thing is such a fraud." I put the hat on, okay? Now, look, I don't know much about the Potter, Harry, but I know a little bit. I know a little bit. I got the DVDs when they came out back in '02, and the hat goes on the head, and it says, "You're going to Hufflepuff." And I say, "Hey, wait a minute. Hufflepuff?" I say, "Hufflepuff? That's the dorm for losers." Okay, it's second-rate housing. Okay, they've got rodents. Everybody knows the winners go to Gryffindor or Slytherin. So strongly, Gryffindor, Slytherin. The hat says you're going to Hufflepuff. So I grab the hat. I throw the hat on the ground. I say, "This hat is fake news. Okay, the whole park is rigged." And by the way, we're suing the park, Universal, very strongly, and we're suing J.K. Rowling. As you know, J.K. wrote the books, the Harry Potter books, and I used to like J.K. I said, "Oh, the creativity, we love creativity." But then, she had beef. J.K. Rowling had beef with me on Twitter. So I say, "Okay, now Harry Potter, not so good." But I go for the kid. And even the community, the alphabet people, the LQBGT people, they don't like JK, especially the T's. Okay, and look, I have a good relationship with the T's. I have Caitlyn, the Jenner, very strongly. I supported Caitlyn in her run, her run, whatever the pronoun frankly is. We don't want to get demonetized on the YouTube, that I could tell you. And look, but there's a tremendous beef there with Rowling and the LQGBT people. And so I think it's a disgrace. I think Rowling is frankly a disgrace. But I gotta say, I don't like how Harry threw her under the bus. Okay, this guy Harry. Okay, nobody knows the real name. Everybody knows him as Harry. Okay, it's Harry, Ron, and Hermione. They all made hundreds of millions, and they throw J.K. under the bus because she had an opinion. I think it's a disgrace. I think, look, you could disagree, but you keep your mouth shut, okay? Keep J.K.'s name out of your mouth, Harry, okay? If I was her, I would sue Harry. I would sue him for every penny he's got. I'd take my 100 millions back, okay? That I could tell you. Unbelievable people. But, the family's good. Tiffany calls up. She says, "Dad, can I borrow $43,000? I say, $43,000? What do you need with $43,000? She says, "Yeah, send it on Cash App." I'm like, "What is Cash App?" She said, "Oh, it's an app." I say, "Look, I don't do apps. Okay, I do cash, but I don't do the app. Okay, that's how you end up. I stay away from the technology, okay? I say maybe if your dad was Elon Musk, ask for Cash App, okay? But I do cash. I deal in cash. And occasionally I'll do a wire transfer through my attorneys very powerfully. But, apps, that's how you end up in trouble, like Hillary with the emails. And, I say, "What do you want with this 43 grand? She says, "Dad, I want a Cartier bracelet." I say, "Look, sweetheart, if you could help me find those votes in Georgia, I'll give you the money." And I said, "Look, where did you hear about this Cash App?" And she says, "Dad, I was listening to the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God, and there was a Cash App ad." And I say, "Oh, interesting. Charlemagne, that's another beauty. Okay, that's the one who Biden said, 'If you don't vote for me, then you're not black.' Okay, it's so much hatred for the African Americans by Biden, which, by the way, the African Americans, they love me. The African Americans, they come to me and they say, 'Mr. President, we vote. When you were president, we all had jobs. Now we have nothing.' It's a disgrace, okay? It's a disgrace, frankly. But, that's what it is. That's what it is. And, the Democrat-run cities, New York City used to be great. I went back to visit. There's rats the size of German shepherds running around. Okay, you've got homeless people crapping in the streets. The Hudson River is filled with fentanyl, just absolutely filled with fentanyl. Frankly, it's a disgrace. I mean, the whole world's gone to shit. Okay, they have a new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a new Fresh Prince. So I say, "Oh," because people might not remember this. I was on the original Fresh Prince. I had a cameo on Fresh Prince. So I look at this new Fresh Prince. First off, Uncle Phil's not even fat. Uncle Phil's not fat. You've got Uncle Phil with abs. With abs. I say, that's not Uncle Phil. And then you have no theme song. It's a disgrace. And then Carlton doesn't even dance. Imagine Carlton Banks without the dance. Okay, it's an absolute disgrace. Carlton's doing cocaine, coke. He's doing coke. Okay, I say that's not the Carlton that I remember. But it's not all bad in TV. There's a show out called. I was watching it with Melania. We got the popcorn. Have you heard of it? It's on Netflix. It's called Love Is Blind. This show, Love Is Blind, it's a tremendous show. Love Is Blind. And look, they got these people, they're dating, but they can't see each other. And I say, huh. I mean, call me old fashioned, but I like to see people that I'm dating. Okay, that I can tell you. But it's experiment. They see these people and then they propose. And you've got some very interesting characters, frankly, on the Love Is Blind. So they're in the pods, and they got this guy, Shake. Okay, he's a real beauty, Shake. And Shake, at first, I liked him because he's very blunt, very frankly straightforward. He says, "What do you look like? How much do you weigh? How's your credit score?" Very upfront, like me, very blunt, very straightforward, frankly. And a lot of the women, they didn't like it. They didn't like it. And then he meets Deepti. And Deepti's all about it. They hit it off. And Shake comes in there and he's like, "Deepti, will you marry me?" And Deepti says, "Yes. Yes, Shake, I'll marry you." And then they meet, okay? Then they meet. The door's open. Deepti comes running over and she says, "Oh, I'm so excited." They're kissing each other on the lips. But Shake doesn't look so thrilled, frankly. Shake looks like he's got buyer's remorse. Shake looks like the people who voted for Sleepy Joe. There's regret. But he doesn't tell Deepti this. He doesn't tell. He says, "Oh, Deepti, I can't wait to marry you. Look, if that was me, I would have been gone." I mean, I wouldn't have even walked up. It wouldn't have even gotten to the kiss, frankly. I don't have time. I'm doing deals. I would have left. But Shake stays with Deepti. Now they're in Mexico. The booze is flowing. This is why I don't drink, because you stay sharp. The booze is flowing. And Shake is going around telling everyone. He's telling Danielle, Ayanna, Natalie, "Oh, I'm not attracted to Deepti," but he says, "I see her as an aunt. As an aunt. Look, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't marry my aunt, okay? I don't know." But Deepti's going around telling everyone, and I'm like, does this guy not know that this is on television? I mean, he's being filmed, okay? Deepti's gonna hear. I mean, the guy's an idiot. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just looking at this, and I'm saying, this guy is walking into a trap. And, so that's going on. Meanwhile, you've got Danielle, okay? Danielle hits it off with Nick in the pods. In the pods, it's all fairy tales, rainbows, and unicorns. And then they meet. And then they're off in Mexico, and Danielle really, frankly, starts to show her true colors. I mean, she's got these crazy eyebrows, Danielle. That's another thing. Crazy eyebrows, crazy face, really crazy face. And Nick is just putting up with it. Danielle is talking about locking herself in closet, crying. I mean, this is crazy behavior. I mean, this is like Looney Tunes. This is somebody who went and voted for Biden 6 times. But the thing is, look, Nick is the kind of guy who he sticks around. He says, "Oh, Danielle, I'll stay with you," and he puts up with it, and then, frankly, it's sad to say, but he's the type of guy who ends up, Nick, in your local shopping center, just boom, bang, boom, shooting away because they snap. It's called snap. A guy like me, one bad date, I'm gone. He's a woman. Look, if Melania was in closets, I would say, "Okay, I'll get you the therapy," but I'm out. But Nick is, prying this girl out of the closet. He's got a crowbar trying to get her out of the closet. It's unbelievable. So then they end up on the altar, and frankly, Nick is sweating like I've never seen sweat. Okay, this Nick is sweating like R. Kelly at a Girl Scout meeting. I mean, the guy looks like he's in the Sahara Desert because, crazy Danielle's done a number on him. And, And then the priest says, "Do you, Nick, take Danielle?" And I'm saying, "Nick, you leave her at that altar?" But he says, "I do. I do." And Danielle says, "I do too." And they walk off and they're fighting already. She says, "I don't like the way you said I do." And he didn't even get a prenup. I mean, frankly, the whole thing's a disgrace. Okay, it's like the Biden presidency. It's collapsing. It's collapsing. And then back to Deep D and Shake. You've got their wedding. They're all dressed up in the Indian, frankly, the garb. They're doing the this and the that, the dancing. Very strongly, the dancing. It's very interesting, very unique. Very unique. I did it the old fashioned way. I walked down the aisle, and that was, I said, "I do." And that was it. Off to the honeymoon, right? Off to the honeymoon. But the Indians, they've got the outfits and the this and the that. And they're at the altar. And I'm rooting for Deepti. I say, "Deepti, you leave this guy." And, she comes up and she finally says, "Look, I need somebody, frankly, who wants me for me." And I'm like, "You go, Deepti. I'm rooting for you, Deepti." I was spilling popcorn all over the place. And then Shake goes, he doesn't even run after her. He goes, "Oh, it's a party." I mean, the guy, frankly, is a disgrace, okay? Yet somehow he's still allowed to have an Instagram, and I'm kicked off. It's so unfair, this world. So Deep D runs off, and she's free. And, Crazy Shake is talking about reservations at Nobu. Okay, look, I know Nobu. Okay, it's a third-rate restaurant. Okay, Smith & Walensky's in Manhattan. That's the way to go. Okay, believe me. That I can tell you. So Danielle and Nick, they run off. They're married. They're wed. And then you got Jared, who, by the way, he's an African American who I'm sure probably voted for me like every other African American. And he ends up with, at first I thought it was Rihanna. I said, "Oh boy, Rihanna. She's fallen far from grace." But then I realized, oh, it's Ayanna. Okay, so I say, "Okay, Ayanna. Okay." And Ayanna and Jared, they seem good. They're hitting it off. Everything seems good. But you see, before Ayanna, Jared proposed to Mallory. But Mallory said no. She didn't want Jared. So now they're in Mexico, okay? The booze is flowing. And Jared says, "Oh, hello, Mallory." And Mallory says hi to Jared. And see, Mallory ended up with this guy, Sal. Total loser. Total loser. I call him Tiny Sal. Little Sal. And these two are flirting, okay? And look, I know flirting. They're flirting, okay? Very strongly, very intensely. The body language. Look, nobody knows body language, frankly, like I know body language. They're all over each other, okay? You got Sal off in a corner crying. And you got poor Ayanna. Poor Ayanna. She doesn't know what the hell is going on, but they're flirting so strongly. And I can guarantee you they didn't show it on TV. They didn't show it. But I worked in television for years. I know how these things work. Jared says, "Oh, I gotta go to bathroom," right? 2 minutes later, you look at the clock. Mallory, where's Mallory? Oh, she has to run off and pee. They're doing boom, boom, biggity bong, bing, bing, boom. Okay, look, I know what's up. Okay. So then you got Sal, finally wakes up. Crazy Sal. We call him Simp Sal. I learned simp from Baron, the kids using simp. Okay. You got Tiny Sal, the simp. He's crying in a corner, doesn't know where the hell Mallory is. Mallory's getting the BBC. They call it BBC. Look it up, Google. Hit the Google. So he looks at the camera, he wisens up. He said, "Look, I had feelings. I caught feelings. They call it caught feelings for Mallory, but now she's getting the BBC. So I'm going to dump Mallory. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go back to, life." But the next morning, he sobers up. And then get this, they say gaslight. Mallory's gaslighting the shit out of Sal, and she's got Sal apologizing after last night with the BBC. Okay? She's with the BBC, and then she has Sal apologize. Sal is a disgrace. But then Sal finally wisens up at the altar. Okay, he says, "Look, they're standing there." Priest says, "Do you, Sal, say I do?" And he says, "Look," she looks Mallory in the eye. I said, "Look, I know when you type in the porn categories, you're not looking for Latin, okay? You're not looking for south of the border. You're looking for the BBC. You're looking for Wesley Pipes. Look it up. Wesley Pipes. A tremendous relationship with Wesley, frankly. I almost got him on The Apprentice, but it didn't work out. Some legal things. But anyways, so Sal leaves Mallory. Good for you, Sal. Good for you. It's the first win of your life. And then you've got this guy, Shane. Crazy eyes. Matter of fact, I think we should match it. I think Shane should have ended up with Danielle because they both got these crazy eyes. I would always say crazy eye people should stick with crazy eye people. That's like Crazy Nancy. I think Nancy should have ended up with Chuck. They should have got married because they're both lunatics. Crying Chuck, crying Sal, crying Chuck. It's all the same. It's all a disaster. So you've got Shane, who should have ended up happily ever after with Natalie. Shane, who should have ended up happily ever after with Danielle. He ends up with Natalie. Very smart girl. Very, very smart. Very intelligent. You got Natalie bullying Shane. I mean, look, call me old school, but I don't think a man should get bullied, frankly, by his wife. Okay, call me old school. So Natalie ends up leaving poor Shane at the altar. I mean, the guy looks, it's a tray. He's like, what the hell happened here? Frankly, I think Natalie should have ended up with Sal. Okay, the three of them. And when I say three, I'm saying Natalie, Sal, and the ukulele. They would have ran off happily ever after. Okay? You should call me matchmaker, okay? And then, of course, you've got Ayanna and Jared happily ever after, and that's okay. I wish them luck, but if I were Ayanna, I would say, well, keep an eye open, okay? If Mallory comes around, stopping by, to share some Girl Scout cookies. I come here to, do you guys have any sugar? We ran out of sugar. Okay, that's wink, wink, wink and a nod, okay? Believe me. If I were Ayanna, I would look out for that Natalie like you wouldn't believe, frankly, because she's free now that no more Sal weighing her down. And that's, Sal weighs nothing down, but look. So that's what it is, okay? Believe me. Love is Blind, great show. I would give it 5 trumps. That's how I'm going to start rating shows. 5 trumps, 5 out of 5. That I could tell you. There's a lot of good programs, frankly, on the television. You've got the Kanye, my BFF. Kanye West, the documentary. That documentary is filled with African Americans who, like I said, once again, tremendous relationship. Everybody in that doc had a job. And they all know that they came from Trump. They came from Trump. So much hip-hop. We love hip-hop. They call it rap. And it's tremendous. Before me, there was no rap, okay? They all the references with the African Americans to Trump and, of course, the jobs. I mean, it's really a symbiotic, frankly, relationship. Kanye, when he came to the White House, he gave me these shoes. They're called Yeezys. Tremendous. We love the shoes. We love the shoes. The African Americans love shoes, okay? That I can tell you. So look, and Kanye, he had some beef with Pete Davidson from the terrible, poorly rated SNL, right? The ratings were so high when I was on, not so much now. But you got Pete with his ex, Kim. Frankly, I would say Kanye, you're better off. She's got diaper butt. They call it diaper butt. Look at the butt. Looks like she's wearing a diaper. I don't want to judge, shame, woke, whatever, this, that, and the other, bing, bong, boom, Caitlyn Jenner. But, there's a butt, there's a diaper. I don't know what's going on, but look, I would move on because you've got this sickly fellow, Pete. I don't want to take credit, but I'm the one who got him off of Instagram. Pete was on Instagram for 3 seconds. He said mental health, bing, bong, boom. They got me off. I had my burner accounts, many burners. Nobody knows burners accounts, frankly. Like I know burner accounts. I'm the one who got Pete Davidson off. That I could tell you. So, look, in closing, I just want to say that we're going to have this podcast, 70 million people watching right now. And I have a big drum, bop, bing, bong, boom. I have a big bomb to drop right now. There's a rumor going around that President Biden, I call him Sleepy Joe, is abusing Whippets. They say, have you heard of this? I didn't know what it was, but I have a description right here that I printed out from the internet. Many eyewitnesses. They go into the Oval Office. The guy is huffing Whippets. It's such a disgrace. Whippets produce a rapid, short-lasting high, which encourages teens and apparently aging presidents, elderly geriatric presidents, to abuse them again and again. Continuous inhalation of nitrous oxide at higher concentrations can be life-threatening, as the brain is deprived of oxygen. I'll tell you, in my 4 years, my brain was never deprived of oxygen, okay? That I can tell you. For example, using Whippets with a bag over your head, a bag over the head. Could you imagine walking into that sacred Oval Office and the President of the United States has a bag over his head? Unbelievable. You'll never see a bag over Trump's head. That I can tell you, unless they kill me, okay? I want to have that on record, unless they kill me, okay? Unless I'm suicided. That I can tell you. Bag over your head, or nitrous oxide tanks with a fair face mask or a small space like a car can result in irreversible brain damage or death. And look, I mean, that's so sad. And look, I don't wish death on anyone, okay? Because, of course, if Biden dies, then we get crazy Kamala with the cackle. I call her cackling Kamala. You ask her, oh, how was your day? It's, frankly, it's disturbing, okay? And she's not black, by the way. She's not black. She's brown, okay? People saying she's the first I know African-American. Kanye, that's an African-American. I mean, look, Kamala would never wear this, okay? She would never wear this. She's not black. I know black. I love the blacks. The blacks love me. I love the blacks. I love the African-American. She's not black. She's not black. Okay, believe me. So, look, in closing, Biden's on Whippets. Love is Blind is sick. And tune in next week. We love you. We're going to make America great again, so strongly. And look, frankly, this show is huge. Thank you. Good night. Believe me. I think we did good. That was good. Yeah. I think it was good. Yeah, they're saying hundreds of millions of people watching. It's unbelievable.